Welcome to the Knapp Daddy Racing League, where the competition is high and the theatrics are higher.
They bring it down the stretch one last time.
It's sputtering. He's shaking it.
It's sputtering. Brandon Lopez wins it at Charlotte in one of the greatest fuel strategies you will see.
It's close battles, tight racing, and non-stop action. Y'all ready?
Come to the home stretch for the final time. I think Ty Roberts is running out of gas. Ronald Breland's running out of gas. Ronald Breland going to be your winner of the very first race.
Get loud. Get ready.
It is going to be Hunter Simpson taking the race here at Austin. Right there on that checkered line, it's going to burn it down, but they will earn and deserve victory.
Let's go. It's the Knapp Daddy Racing League, only on the Knapp Daddy Racing channel.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Knapp Daddy Racing TV. Welcome back to the Knapp Daddy Racing League, and welcome to Kansas Speedway. Coming to you live here for what is sure to be an excellent race tonight. 117 laps of action at Kansas Speedway. One of the challenges that these drivers are going to face on their way to the championship and to the prize money at the very end. Before we get started here, as our drivers are just now finishing up their practice, I want to give a shout out to the sponsor here, which once again for this race will be us. If you or someone you know would like to sponsor a Knapp Daddy Racing League race, please feel free to reach out to myself or John. We would love to be able to cook you up a fantastic ad read for one of these upcoming races. We still got some races left in the season, so feel free to reach out to us and we will try to cook you up a fantastic ad read. But until then, we are just going to be shamelessly promoting ourselves. We do not just do racing broadcasting and race leagues. For those that don't know, myself and John make up Knapp Daddy Racing. Originally started as an iRacing design shop just over a year ago. We've expanded to try to be your one-stop shop for anything and everything iRacing. Check out our website at knappdaddyracing.com for any of your custom design, template, or logo needs. Be sure to check out some of the free content that's available on the website as well. And even if you're not into iRacing, you can grab a t-shirt, you can grab a hat, you can grab some stickers, help support the brand, help support the boys. And you can check us out here for the Knapp Daddy Racing League on Monday evenings. You can check us out over on Doghouse Racing TV on Thursday nights as their broadcasters for their Cup series, and on Facebook, Instagram, MySpace, all those things as well. We go live on TikTok as often as we can. Have been able to do a whole lot of that recently with all the real life that's going on right now. But we appreciate each and every one of you for tuning into the race here tonight. Thank you so much for choosing to spend some of your Monday evening here with us. Got 14 people out there right now. Got John Larson saying, bring it. Robbie Wilson, Zoom, Kathleen Trush, Team Trush number 23. Have a great race, Brandon. Appreciate all y'all out there in the comments. Be sure to leave a like on the stream if you haven't yet. Subscribe if you haven't yet to make sure you don't miss any of the racing action that's coming your way for the rest of this season. And as always, cheer on your favorite drivers in the comments. They love hearing it. We love reading it. It's one of the best parts about being up here in the booth. But with that said, we are getting ready to get over to qualifying here. As always, my name is Hunter Foley up here in the booth with my broadcast partner, Jonathan Smith. I do believe we are going to have the namesake of Knapp Daddy Racing, Bigger Knapp, joining us tonight at some point. Had to take care of some family stuff, so he might be a little bit tardy here tonight, but I guess we'll forgive him. With that being said, we can kick it on over to the qualifying here, and I can turn it over to my broadcast partner, Jonathan Smith, to tell us some intelligent things about Kansas Speedway and what these drivers are going to expect tonight. John, take it away, sir.
Yeah, it's good to be back here at Kansas. You got to forgive me, I'm feeling just a little bit under the weather here coming into this week. I think it's because my child is constantly trying to put her hands in my face and mouth, and she wakes me up by opening my eyelids now. So a lot of fun. Kids are a walking petri dish, and you will get sick all the time. That's what I'm learning. First step of parenthood. But I want to pull up some race info here for you tonight as we go into Kansas. Going to be a really good time here. 117 laps for these drivers around this 1.53 mile track. Looking at a track temp about 68 degrees, so should be nice and cool and provide some grip, but just hoping that the tires wear appropriately to that temperature. As these drivers get out here, we will have a stage break on lap 50. And we'll have more race details as this goes on here. But right now, Mitchell Wilson out here got that pole position. Frank Marchese right behind him, just bringing into the pits. And Brian Gibbons moving up.
Yeah, we saw a lot of different practice times out there as well. So, I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting to see where these guys get out there and qualify. I think I just saw Brady Zoller touch the wall right there when he was trying to do his qualifying lap. That might negate that lap time, but we saw a lot of variation in the practice times before we got started. I believe Jamie Horn was up there pretty high with practice times. Brandon Trush was up there. Pretty sure Zach Baker had a really fast lap time as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys come out here and qualify.
Thomas McLaughlin putting down a good one. I'm terrible at this track. He is up into 5th place right now behind his teammate Brandon Lopez sitting in 4th place. Looking for some big things out of them. We will get to our picks a little bit later, but in the meantime, put your picks down in the comments. Let us know who you're cheering for tonight and who you think is going to win this thing.
Definitely gonna be a good time. I saw where you just had Megan Barnes's name up on the stream just a few minutes ago, and I saw where he changed his hometown to Lucama, North Carolina. That's familiar territory for you, isn't it?
Oh yeah, pretty close over there by Wilson, North Carolina, right where the Southern National Racetrack is located. It's a good track, one of my favorite short tracks there, or around the circuit they have.
Which, speaking of short tracks on the circuit, do you know where Anderson Speedway is?
Yes, I do. I've been past it a couple times.
I've got a buddy that's going to be doing some racing there here at the end of the month. Wanted to know if he might want to come out.
Absolutely, I will.
Absolutely. Knapp Daddy Racing in real life.
It'd be some good content nonetheless. I might be starting to pop some cough drops here in the background as we go on.
Well, either way, Mitchell Wilson's still going to be currently holding on to that pole position here with only 45 seconds left in qualifying. Then these drivers will get 5 minutes to get warmed up here before we actually get the race started. Currently, Mitchell Wilson, Brian Gibbons, Brady Zoller, Frank Marchese, and Greg McConey going to round out your top 5. Starting in 4th and 5th for those Trash Panda Autosport guys, I definitely can see them having a really, really big night here. I believe we've even talked to Greg before, and he said that he likes Kansas a lot. So looking forward to seeing what those guys are going to be able to do here tonight. I believe we have some drivers that are not planning on putting down a qualifying time as well. Looks like Brandon Trush going to elect not to qualify. Don't believe Ty Robertson put a time down, and neither did Jamie Horn or Everett Larson. That was your race 1 and 2 last week, wasn't it? Jamie Horn, Everett Larson.
Yeah, and they're I just had Ty Robertson and Everett Larson just sitting on pit road. They all 3 completed 0.9 of a lap and brought it in, so not completing that lap. Going to be starting from the back. As these drivers will go to a 5-minute warm-up here. And I will say I am currently working on some pretty cool stuff to update the point system for us a little bit faster here over the next few weeks, because it does take a lot to type in every single name, number, digit, change colors. But I've created a way that is actually going to do it all itself. I just have to copy and paste the code in, and it's going to automatically update. I finally finished it today, but have not finished it for this league itself. So Next week we will have it. So right now we're going to do a very, very redneck way to show you that current point standings. As I pull it up here for you, currently leading Ty Robertson, and then second place Everett Larson, Brandon Lopez in third, Mitchell Wilson in fourth. Look out for him to have a big run. Frank Marchese in fifth, Jamie Horn sixth, Brian Gibbons seventh, Thomas McLaughlin eighth. Greg McConey falling 5 spots from last week, did not participate in the race last week. He's going to be in ninth, and Zachary Baker in 10th. And these drivers will get 2 drop races throughout the course of the season, so the 2 worst races they have will be dropped.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty important too. I mean, with it being a kind of a shorter racing season compared to some other racing leagues, you know, people have real life stuff going on. I mean, especially in our league where I know we have a lot of guys who are, I know we have guys who are first responders. I know we have guys who are in the military. I know we have guys that work like manufacturing jobs where like your shifts can change. So, I mean, there's a lot of real life stuff that goes on, and I think it's cool to have something in place so that the guys can still come out here, participate in the league, be competitive, have a lot of fun, and not be doomed if you miss a single race.
Trying to check in on our third broadcaster here, Baker Knapp, see if I can get him in. Baker, you got us?
Hey guys, yeah, I'm finally here. Finally made it. Got a little bit of something in my throat going on too, just like John. But it's good to be here. It's going to be a good night of racing. I can't wait to get to these picks because I know some of our picks are going to be pretty intriguing based on where they're starting tonight too.
Go ahead, hit us with your pick while we're here.
Well, after what he did last week, I'm up for a super duper run from Everett Larson. I mean, I'm all on the super duper train, and I think he's going to be great tonight. I know he's starting from the back, but just watching a little bit of his warm-up time right now, he's been doing really great at running that high line up near the wall, which is where I think these guys are going to be running most of this race. I mean, you can run the bottom or the top, but I think you're going to run that top really well.
That's a solid
What do you guys
pick,
got?
I was just going to say, I know that's a solid pick, and I feel like every time we talk to Everett at the end of a race, he just learns so much as the race goes on and is really good at adapting to the situations that come up during a race. And so regardless of where he starts, I definitely can see Everett Larson having a good night here tonight. My pick is actually going to be the number 16 of Greg McConey. I know Greg's looking for his first win this season, not able to join us last week, but I believe we've had some conversations with Team Trash Panda Autosport before, and I know they're fans of Kansas Speedway, and I think Greg's due for his first win. I know he's going to be competitive, starting in the middle of the pack, which for someone like me that's a little bit newer into the being behind the wheel of iRacing, I like being kind of right in the middle of the pack, being able to move up or fall back depending on what's going on. I can see Greg McConey being there at the front at the end.
I like both of those picks a lot. My pick tonight is actually going to be part of that Raptor Racing team, Brandon Trush. I thought last week was going to be a good week for him, but I know he's knocking on the door. The stat line does not show exactly what has been going on here, but he's been competitive, always giving a good run, got a good teammate out there in Jamie Horn. Behind the lead a little bit in points right now, but I know a good win and 2 drop races is definitely going to help out a whole lot with him catching up and getting back into that thing. He's also probably going to make the playoffs there in the standings, currently inside the cut limit with just a few races left in this season. I think he's going to improve on that tonight.
100%. I think it's going to be a really fun race here tonight at Kansas Speedway as we are bringing the practice time to a close and we are getting ready to get out there and get gridded up for the race. Reminder to everybody at home, we are doing 117 laps here tonight at Kansas. These guys will have 4 sets of tires to use while they're out there on the track. They'll be at 70% fuel, which should be right about 40-ish laps or so of gas in those cars. And we'll be having our stage break at lap 50. So the pits will close on lap 48, and the stage break will be thrown at the conclusion of lap 50 whenever the 10th place car or whoever is the first car on the lead lap in the top 10 crosses the line. That is for points, so these guys can get rated for their points at the stage break.
With that said, everybody is starting to grid up, so let's go ahead and walk through this grid for us here.
Let's do it. Starting on your pole position here tonight at Kansas Speedway, we're going to have the number 46 car of Mitchell Wilson. He's going to be out there representing Midwest E Motorsports. Got Zachary Baker in that number 12 car starting in second place. Brian Givens in the 74 going to be starting in third place tonight. Brady Zoller going to be starting in fourth place here tonight. And then Frank Marchese going to round out your top 5 in qualifying in that number 24 car. Very heavy Trash Panda Autosport top 5. They're looking to see a performance out of them here tonight. And continuing that on with Greg McConey in the number 16 starting in 6th place. Brandon Lopez in that number 5 car going to be starting 7th. Thomas McLaughlin in the 38 car going to be starting 8th. Dagan Barnes is going to round out your drivers who qualified in 9th place in that number 14 car. After that will be the drivers who did not put down a qualifying time, starting with the number 88 of Ty Robertson in 10th. Jamie Horn in the 98 in 11th. Everett Larson in the 01 in 12th. And Brandon Trush in the 23 car in 13th. With that being said, the green flag is going to wave, and we are going to get underway here at Kansas Speedway. It's like a little bit of a checkup there on the high side, but everybody is off to the races.
And if you pick Mitchell Wilson to win this tonight too, that is a very good pick. It's actually a pick I like a whole lot, but to be honest, I didn't have his number made so I could put it into our system here, but that is a strong pick. Had a really good week last week and seems like he's only getting stronger every single week. So I like Mitchell Wilson a whole lot here.
I like that paint scheme too.
I was going to say we had kind of an influx, like we have this mix of drivers who raced with us last season, and then the new drivers that have come in. And I know we don't have, I don't think we have any of our Quack Pack Racing guys here tonight, but those guys are new to the league and come in, and then we have other people who have come in to join other race teams. You know, Everett Larson has been absolutely crushing it, and the same for Mitchell Wilson, joined to be the teammate of Dagan Barnes on Midwest E Motorsports. Like you said, we talked about it earlier with Jamie Horn, and Everett Larson ended up being 1 and 2 last week, but we didn't talk about how Mitchell Wilson was dominating the majority of that race.
He did what he did on every single restart just now on the start of this race. Every restart last week, he was flawless and jumped out there to a good lead every time. And he is doing that again right now for sure.
And I guess this is a question more for you guys who have a little bit more experience behind the wheel than me. I know we talked about it a lot last week, how important the clean air is at a track like Nashville. And obviously Mitchell Wilson made such good use of that last week, but are you going to see kind of the same thing at Kansas, or is it maybe less of an issue at Kansas than it would be at Nashville?
It's definitely important, but at Kansas you have more lanes to choose from in the turn. Both ends of the racetrack, you can go from the bottom to the top. So even if someone's in front of you running your line, you can go to a different lane. But I mean, if someone's running exactly where you want to run, then your car is going to get tight. There's a few battles going on, farther back in the pack, where it's hard to pass because someone's running the exact line that someone else is running. But as the tires wear out, these guys will be all over this track. John, you have any other thoughts on that clean air, dirty air?
No, that pretty much nails it, man. You kind of have to chase the line here. The line's definitely going to move as this run goes on. I don't think you see a driver that sticks to one line the entire night. Well, at least not a driver that's going to be up into the front. I think you're going to see them try to find that line where the track's going to be a little bit different. It's a very dynamic track. I wouldn't say it's the most dynamic track on the circuit here, mainly because I just did a lot of practice laps at Dover, and it reminded me of how crazy that one is. But, yeah, You can start low, but I think that high side is going to play a little bit. And if I can remember correctly, the midline is actually very, very effective here.
Yeah, the midline is kind of what I'm seeing Everett Larson and Jamie Horn there fighting for. Everett Larson going to the low side to get around Jamie Horn to move up a spot. You see Ty Robertson using that low line as well, right in front of them, trying to work around. I believe that's going to be Dagan Barnes that he's going to be battling with right there. But you see guys using all sorts of different lanes all over the track right now. Not even a whole lot of drivers using the same exact lane, except for that top three where you see Mitchell Wilson, Brian Gibbons, and Zach Baker seeming like they're kind of sticking to the same line right now.
Dagan Barnes hard into the wall. He's got some damage. I don't think he's going to be able to control that car.
Uh-oh. Yeah, it looks like he might be stuck to the wall. Really slow on the track for Dagan Barnes.
Not slow right now, though, is Mitchell Wilson out to 6/10, make it 7/10 of a lead right now over Brian Gibbons. Gibbons, another guy that's been improving every single week. And I mean, that whole Trash Panda Autosports team just pushing along up there, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, you know, I mean, they work together so well as a team. We've seen that happen tons of times over the course of not just this season, but last season as well. You know, they work together so well as a team. They work out their strategy so well in a race like this, where you do have a lot of different things to consider as far as strategy to make to the end of the 117 laps here at Kansas. Get the stage break, got gas tires and everything like that. I definitely expect the Trash Panda Autosport guys to be moving through the field here tonight, but right now it is still Mitchell Wilson leading out front. Looks like Brian Gibbons might have gained a little bit of time on him on that last lap. And then at the back of the pack, Mitchell Wilson's teammate, Dagan Barnes. So he was able to get it down pit road to try to get those repairs done. Unfortunate to see for Dagan. I know he's always really excited to get into the race here on Monday nights. And unfortunately, it looks like early trouble for Dagan here tonight.
Yeah, not a whole lot of movement going on right now. I do have Brandon Lopez trying to make a pass underneath Brady Zoller, and right behind him, Ty Robertson. Wow, about mixed up two names there. Ty Robertson trying to make a pass on Thomas McLaughlin. Teammates back there working beside each other.
And you got Jamie Horn right there behind Everett Larson. They're going to be trying to fight their way around Ty Robertson here in just a second. Got John Larson in the comments saying, I'm picking Wild Boar, the 01 Everett Larson. Is that his racing nickname? That's fantastic.
Let's go with it. The Wild Boar.
Wow, that was a move and a half by Jamie Horn right there.
Yeah.
That was fantastic stuff right there. I mean, it's got to be better than Super Duper, like Baker was going with earlier. But I mean, Everett was the one that said it. So
yeah, Wild Boar is a lot better than Super Duper. That sounds very Captain Underpants like.
Captain Underpants.
I'm not sure if that's actually a popular book or not, but that was my book fairs growing up in elementary school.
Yeah, I read it when I was a kid, but it was because I was 8 years old and thought the word underpants was funny. Also got just your average Jake in the comments saying, let's go Wilson. Mitchell Wilson doing great still out at the front as we are approaching lap 15 here of 117, but Brian Gibbons is starting to make some time on him in that number 74 car. Down to about 0.3 of a second of a lead for Mitchell Wilson. And then you still got Brian's teammates on Trash Panda Autosport, Zach Baker and Greg McConey. About 1.2 seconds back for Zach Baker and about 1.8 for Greg McConey. And then Frank Marchese still right there as well. About 2.6 seconds back. I say it looks on, you're watching this from above, which is the camera view that I have right now. It looks a lot more separated than it actually is. Like you see, it seems like there's a lot of separation on these cars. But I mean, last car in the lead lap right now is Thomas McLaughlin in 12th place, and he's less than 5 seconds behind the race leader.
Yeah, everyone's pretty close, which is amazing, but their lap times are all relatively close together right now too.
I'm kind of surprised this backpack here between Ty Robertson, Jamie Horn, Everett Larson, Brandon Trush has not gotten going a little bit more. But on the other hand, maybe they're saving up for something or just trying to size them up, keep them in striking distance.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Or
They
is
might
it
be
you-
saving their tires, or at least trying to.
I say there's fuel strategy to consider as well, because I mean you gotta take into account the stage breaks at lap 50. We estimate that these guys have somewhere between 40 and 45 laps of fuel in the tank. But does anyone think that they can make 50?
That would be a tough stretch.
It's like Dagan Barnes bringing it off of pit road after getting that damage repaired. He's going to be the last car on the track currently, going to be 7 laps down in 13th place. He's going to have a lot of ground to try to make up here on lap 18 of 117 here at Kansas. But like you said, John, I mean, there's not really been a whole lot of movement on the track, at least to this point. Got a couple guys. Brian Gibbons is up a spot. Greg McConey's up 2 spots from 6th to 4th. Ty Robertson up 3 spots from 10th to 7th. Jamie Horn also up 3 spots, 11th to 8th. Brady Zoller slipping back a little bit in the pack. He started in 4th place here tonight. Currently sitting in 9th. Actually, he's going to fall back to 10th right there as Everett Larson was able to make that pass to get himself into the top 10. Brandon Trush also closing in. Jamie Horn getting in a little side-by-side battle there with Ty Robertson. Jamie Horn taking it almost all the way down to the grass. Trying to make some progress there.
I was just doing some, onboard listening to see if anybody was maybe saving fuel or anything. And something interesting I just noticed is Jamie Horn is shifting. Meanwhile, Ty Robertson is not. Jamie Horn is going down to 4th gear in both turns, both ends of the racetrack, but Ty Robertson is staying in 5th gear. Potentially that could be him trying to save fuel, at least for Ty. Maybe he's not pushing it as hard, but that's one of those debates of like, does shifting save fuel, save tire, does it not? You never really know.
I would think it has to use a little bit more fuel, would it not?
Yeah.
You're
That's
having
what
to rev up the RPMs more often.
Yeah, that's what I was meaning. I said save fuel, and I hope that's backwards, not shifting. But that's just something we need to watch through this run. I don't think they can make it all the way, but it would be really interesting to see if someone tries to do it. Someone I know that would probably try to do it, if there be anyone, would be Brandon Lopez, because he tends to always try to have the craziest fuel strategies possible. I know there was a few races last season that he did that.
Yeah, I think you got a win out of one of those as well. Look at Jamie Horn starting to turn on and move through the pack up to 6th place, now pulling up on Frank Marchese in that number 24 car, but Frank Marchese also gaining time on his teammate Greg McConey here. That is going to be a battle for 4th place. I know we just talked about Jamie Horn was taking it down almost to the grass to try to make that pass on Ty Robertson a few laps ago. Which brings me to Greg McConey's paint scheme. The Trash Panda Autosport themed John Deere, the Trash Deere. That's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, that's a really good one. It looks like Greg's going to bring it in pit road.
Pit strategy. Here we go, boys.
Letting the stage, I like it. That's a good call. I mean, assuming it stays green, it's a great call.
I feel like I've seen Greg do something like this before. And I think it was at Michigan, if I'm not mistaken, where he came in a lot earlier than everybody else.
I think he's the only person to bring it down other than Dagan Barnes, who had to bring it down for damage. But I mean, where I'm kind of trying to unpack this as we're watching it, and the more I think about it, the more I love this. you were up there, you were running in 4th place. You're still very close to the leaders. You know you're probably going to go a lap down, but you're not going to lose too much time because you were still up there fairly close to the leaders. You're the only person who went down for gas this early, so you know everybody else is going to also still have to go down. You're also allowing time that if there is a caution, you're going to be back out there on the track. You don't need to come back down pit road. And I also think he used this opportunity to get 4 tires.
He definitely did. We'll see what kind of lap times he puts down right here. We'll be looking for some really fast laps.
Or say again, deferring to my broadcast partners and friends here who have more wheel time than I do. Are you going to notice a difference in tires at Kansas 27 laps old to new?
Yes.
Yes. Baker, I know you said you saw Jamie shifting. Jamie Horn in 4th place right now, shifting between 4th and 5th. Had you noticed anybody else that was, and you said Ty Robertson was staying in 5th.
Yeah.
Had you noticed anybody else that was employing the shift strategy?
I wasn't really looking around too much else aside from them. But before we lose this moment, Greg McConey is running about 7 or 8 tenths a lap faster than the leaders. So think about that. If this stays green, he'll cycle up there. But then when they all pit, they'll have fresher tires than he has at that moment. But he's got clean air, no one else around him. He is laying down fast laps. He just put down a 30.1, but before that he ran a 29.8.
Yeah,
so,
you say 30.1 like it's a bad thing. Mitchell Wilson went at 30.65.
Yeah. To still have a second faster, even after a few laps. It'll even out at some point, but yeah, Greg's going to put down some very fast laps right now.
Reminder, we are approaching our stage break here. Stage break will be at lap 50. We do not think that anyone can make it to lap 50 without at least bringing it down pit road for at least gas. I mean, at that point, at 50 laps, your tires are going to be screaming. But you're at least going to have to come down there and get gas. Currently, the only drivers out on the track who have pitted is going to be 16 of Greg McConey, sitting in 12th place, 1 lap down right now, and Dagan Barnes, 8 laps down in 13th, but he had to bring it down for damage. Thomas McLaughlin bringing it down pit road. That is your 11th place driver. Was about 11 seconds behind the race leader.
Found 2 more that are currently shifting. Ty is now shifting and Brandon Trush. It makes sense that Brandon Trush is shifting because he's teammates with Jamie Horn. They most likely were talking about how shifting was a strategy that could be working for them. So that would make sense. But Ty Robertson is the surprise one that's now shifting as well as we go later into this run.
Check on Everett Larson for me, would you?
Yeah.
Everett Larson currently all over the bumper of Brandon Trush, just trying to find a lane to where he can make the pass. Looks very, very fast, but Brandon Trush just not giving him anywhere to go right now. Everett Larson still trying to complete that pass. Is Everett Larson shifting?
No, he's not. That's why Brandon Trush is getting ahead of him into the turn, because Brandon's kind of using that engine to brake a little bit for him. That's the advantage of shifting. But Everett's getting a great run off of every single turn.
Pit road update, your race leader, Mitchell Wilson, after leading all 35 of our laps here in the beginning of this race, is bringing it down pit road here on lap 36.
I wonder if this will be a 2-tire stop here. I realized I was on mute earlier when I was talking about that engine brake. helping slow down to the corners, but it is going to heat up those tires a lot more. I want to see if he's going to take all 4 if he does a 2 rights and go. Looks like he's going to do all 4. Brian Gibbons, your new race leader.
And Mitchell Wilson did elect to take all 4 there. Brian Gibbons in the 74 car, your new race leader. He's got Thomas McLaughlin right behind him, but Thomas McLaughlin currently 2 laps down after coming down pit road. So Brian Gibbons still... Go ahead.
We had a single car spin. We're good.
Who's spun?
Everett Larson may have spun. It was just a single car spin, so it wasn't a yellow, but... Oh no, Everett Larson got turned. He saved it though. It was a little bit loose, but it's kind of all over the place. Everett Larson got turned by Brandon Trush.
Yeah, I just went back and checked out, and there was definitely some contact. Good save by Everett Larson.
I was on board with Greg McConey, and I saw Larson coming up on the track, and I was like, what just happened there? But Greg McConey, obviously stopping early was a strategy that hopefully, for his sake, will pay off, because he is well out in front now of everyone else who has already made a pit stop.
Yeah, I was saying, it looks like most everybody else is choosing to bring it down here. Saw everyone leading per lap. So if you lead 1 lap or if you lead 40, that is the same amount of bonus points. Mm-hmm. What do you mean?
Wait. Video wise? Oh no. Maybe we can get
It's
it back
still
by
live.
stage 2. back with some on-track action. Right now, as we come to the end of the stage, we are having a great battle for the lead of this race between Jamie Horn and Brandon Lopez. Brandon Lopez, after this pit stop, came on, and he has been a rocket driving through this field as he goes to the inside right now around Jamie Horn. Very impressive run.
Something out.
He did. I think he only took 2 tires also, but I may have to double check that, but still, what a drive to drive past.
Hey,
He
John,
chased
can you
down
remind me
Greg
what the
McConey.
command for pit road is? These guys are racing, trying to close this stage break out. Seems like pretty much everybody cycled back onto the lead lap, actually. After we had those green flag pit stops, currently 10th place is going to belong to Brandon Trush in that number 23 car. That is going to be your last driver to get bonus points for this stage. But Brandon Lopez got around Jamie Horn there and just took off like a rocket. Half a second already. You got Ty Robertson, Greg McConey, and Brian Gibbons behind them, all making up your top 5 right now. As we approach the stage break here, Brandon Lopez going to be your stage break winner. And that is going to be your stage right there, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations to your top 10 there for getting those bonus points for stage 1 here at Kansas Speedway in the Knapp Daddy Racing League. Brandon Lopez going to be your stage winner here. Jamie Horn going to come home in 2nd place. Ty Robertson going to come up in 3rd. Greg McConey in 4th place. Brian Gibbons in 5th place. Brett Marchese going to come home in 6th place. That is going to be teammates in 4, 5, and 6 for that stage. Then you're going to have Brady Zoller. You're going to have Mitchell Wilson, Zach Baker, and Brandon Trush. Congratulations to those guys for picking up bonus points for stage 1 here at Kansas. Again, appreciate everybody for sticking with us through those technical difficulties. We do appreciate you very much for hanging out with us on a Monday evening. We put in a lot of work behind the scenes to try to make the streams better and better. I know you saw that intro video that we aired earlier on. I know John spent a lot of time trying to make that happen, and then sometimes just the racing gods or the internet gods or whichever ones decide to make things a little bit more fun for us. But once again, thank you everybody for joining here with us. We appreciate it very much. Still 31 people out there in the stream. We appreciate it a lot. As you see, pretty much all of your drivers here are going to bring it down under this stage caution. Diggin Barnes going to keep it out on the track, trying to get a lap back there, which he actually has been able to do. Now that I'm looking at it, I think he was 8 or 9 laps down at one point. He's only 6 laps down now.
And he should be getting the lucky dog right here too, so no matter what, he gets the slap back, which is nice. I think he should still be able to pit, I believe, as the lucky dog next time around.
Yeah, you just have to wait
Some
till the next lap.
strategies. Jamie Horn winning the race out of the pits.
It's like Jamie Horn, Ty Robertson, Brandon Lopez out of pit road. Still trying to see where everybody is once everybody gets situated out there on the track here. Again, we also apologize for the current quality of the stream here. I know John's computer is still trying to get caught up here. Here's another strategy play that just happened. Greg McConey brought it down pit road a second time.
I mean, topping off isn't a bad idea. Just might help him get to a fuel window a little bit better. Thinking about it, if they ran close to 35, 40 laps,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you can pretty much just split this stage. I mean, it just kind of depends on how early you want to stop. I think the short pit strategy works really well, especially if you get a yellow early, right after everyone pits. But
I mean, it still worked out pretty good for Greg that last time. I mean,
yeah,
brought it down way earlier than pretty much everybody else. I mean, he still came in, I think it was 4th in that stage. So, I mean, he still did really, really well, but maybe he's trying to work out a different strategy this time where he's going to try to stay out longer than everybody else. I don't know, but regardless of the fact here, the pace car is going to make a hard left-hand turn here. It is going to be lap 55 when we cross the stripe here. It is going to be Jamie Horn and Ty Robertson leading this thing off, followed by Brian Gibbons, Brendan Lopez, Mitchell Wilson, Zach Baker, Frank Marchese, Brandon Trush, Brady Zoller, Everett Larson, Thomas McLaughlin, and Greg McConey. Making up your top 12 lead lap cars right now. Dagan Barnes now only 6 laps down, sitting in 13th. That was a really big restart for Jamie Horn.
Mm-hmm.
Look at all the different lanes those guys are taking in the middle of the pack right now. That is crazy.
All over the track.
Yeah, Dagan Barnes just got into the wall again there. After getting that damage repaired early on, looks like something very, very similar of a wall hit right there.
Ooh, 3 wide there in the middle, 3 and 4. Brandon Trush on the bottom. Oh, Zach Baker lifted. Oh, it's contact.
Zach Baker going through the grass there. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get the stream better for you. It looks like the drop rate's going down a whole lot, so hopefully it's finding itself out. But Zach Baker cutting through the grass, able to keep it straight. We're going to stay green here. Still some hard racing going on up front and in the middle of this pack. Brandon Trush down the bottom side of Brady Zoller. Up ahead of them, Mitchell Wilson side by side with Frank Marchese, and then Brandon Lopez and teammate Ty Robertson fighting to get that 3rd place spot.
It looked like it was just really tough 3 wide race in there. I think it was Brandon Trush on the bottom, it was Brady Zoller on the top, and then it looked like right when Zach Baker was going to get out of the 3 wide, like he was coming off right as Everett Larson was trying to come down. Everett Larson catching the wall there as well.
Yeah. Everett Larson probably got a good bit of damage from that. That's going to be hard to recover from, especially with the track position he's in right now. Not being the best, it's going to be really hard to recover from that.
We saw that happen to Dagan Barnes here earlier on too. I think it's just because you're carrying so much momentum into those corners, especially. I mean, if you pop that wall, it's really easy to kind of catch it a lot harder than you're intending to, if you even intended to at all. But then also, it just shapes it up to be at a really weird angle. And I know, John, you've talked about that before. The toe links in this thing are made up of, I think, string beans, and really easy to break those.
Pretty accurate. It's a good way to say it.
Which I don't understand. Why not just make a bigger toe link or a stronger toe link? But I am not an engineer. I just know what those things look like, and they are very tiny. You know, it's like they can break very easily. I feel like I could snap one in my hand if I had to.
You got some racing going on at the front now, boys. Jamie Horn still has about 0.3 of a second of a lead over Brian Gibbons in 2nd place, but everything behind that is a scatter right now. Brandon Lopez on the bottom of the track, Ty Robertson up at the top, And then you got Frank Marchese, you got Mitchell Wilson, you got Brandon Trush, all right there looking for their spot. I mean, there's 4 different lanes being used right there.
Brandon Lopez won in second place that last lap. It was there. Brian Gibbons kind of left the door open, and Lopez went down there, but Gibbons shut the door right on him. And again, that's the thing. That's where that dirty air does take effect, because where he drove down in front of him, it just took away all of his downforce. And so that made it really difficult for Lopez to get going again. And he even lost the next position because of that. So then he settled back down in 4th. And so he's going to try and get after those top 3 guys again. Brandon Lopez was going for 2nd and then lost track position. Lost 2nd and 3rd, now back to 4th. All because of dirty air.
I'm saying that's the thing. I've heard so many different people talk about that, especially after like the last 2 updates, where it's like you're not even so much like traditionally what you think of when you think of like throwing a block in racing is you're trying to move your whole car in front of them. You're trying to throw off their momentum. You're trying to get into them, rattle their cage almost a little bit. And you don't even have to do that anymore. I mean, you can just literally throw their air off and have that be a block. It looked almost like Brian Gibbons almost got Ty Robertson with that. As Ty Robertson's trying to go around on the outside, he was able to stop him for 1 turn, but Ty Robertson was able to get him on that 2nd straightaway. Ty Robertson now going to move up into 2nd place over top of Brian Gibbons there in that 74 car. Brandon Lopez and Mitchell Wilson still up there very much in the hunt. And then you got Frank Marchese, Brandon Trush, Greg McConey, and Brady Zoller all making up your top 9 right now. Everybody within 2 seconds of the race lead right now. And even 10th and 11th, Thomas McLaughlin 3.5 seconds back. Everett Larson 4.1 seconds back in 11th. Zach Baker able to remain on the lead lap. And he is going to be bringing it down this time by. That will put him 1 lap down, but will still be in the lucky dog position. Robbie Wilson in the comments saying, "Let's go, Mitchell."
I think
You're gonna see what
everything is
Mitchell-
back to normal now, so I think we should be good here. I apologize for that, not having the cameras on the drivers, which is what we're talking about here, but I think everything should be fixed. No more drop frames, so I think we're heading in the right direction, going in the right direction. As we were about to say there, Mitchell Wilson, as he's slowly creeping up, just got around Frank Marchese, trying to chase down Brandon Lopez. We know this guy is very fast. He's just got to get some clean air. You can see him there trying to avoid the dirty air up high and down low from both of those drivers in front of him.
Yeah, that's coming from, again, we talked about it last week. You know, Jamie Horn got the win last week. Everett Larson came home in 2nd place. But, I mean, Mitchell Wilson was dominating last week. And just due to a lot of other factors that weren't your overall speed on the racetrack, pit road strategy, tires at the end of the race, lots of different things, wasn't able to come home in that spot that he had held for pretty much the majority of that race. And so now he kind of finds himself in a similar situation where been led the first part of this race up until he pitted. I mean, the race lead was his from start until he pitted. And then now he's kind of back there in the dirty air, and you can see him kind of knowing what he's doing here as he's actively trying to avoid the air off of these other cars he's trying to move up in the pack.
He closed right into that back bumper of Brandon Lopez right there. That was really tight on the exit of turn 2. But he's going to probably try and get a run off turn 4 here, get back to the bumper and make a move to try to pass Lopez going into turn 1. He's not going to quite get there.
Yeah, kind of
Sometimes you have to set up your pass.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. You got to set it up a little bit, kind of almost a turn in advance.
I thought the way he got through 3 and 4, I thought he was going to have it in 1 and 2 that time. But
Got
he's
another
jumping to the
comment in
inside
here.
right here.
Got another comment in here saying, "Come on, Mitch." Mitchell Wilson got a fan base in the comments here tonight, as he's taking it all the way down to the bottom of the track to get around that number 5 of Brandon Lopez. But Lopez is going to look to the inside again here. And they've still got to catch this top 3. Jamie Horn and Ty Robertson, who we saw moving really, really fast early on, but this is kind of their first time up in the 1 and 2 spots here tonight. They've been doing very, very well up there so far. Brian Gibbons, what a run for him tonight here as well. I mean, I don't think I've seen him out of the top 3 here tonight.
Brandon Lopez trying to get right back at Mitchell Wilson. He does have that inside.
A great battle back and forth, inside, outside. They're racing clean too. I love it. It's great. But they're bringing Frank right into the battle with them, and Greg right behind him too.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's the other side of that dirty air, clean air racing that we were talking about. Is Brandon Lopez, Mitchell Wilson, both of those guys can use the air to kind of make the battle between them real difficult. But kind of what they did there is that they're still side by side, and now Frank Marchese and Greg McConey are right there on their bumper.
And at this point, you're probably getting a little bit frustrated with the guy you're racing. Like, come on, just give it to me. Let me get around you. And I mean, both of them, but they both think they deserve to be in 4th. So of course they're going to keep going back at each other. But that's what creates great racing for us to watch.
100%. We're about 20 laps into this green flag run right here. So we're probably about halfway to where we're expecting that these guys will need to green flag pit stop. Assuming we do stay under green. Been caution free all night long so far. Seen a couple of guys take some damage. Dagan Barnes early on in the race got into the wall, I think on lap 8, requiring damage that he had to come down pit road and fix. And then Zachary Baker, saw him in that 3-wide battle. And right as that 3-wide battle was coming to an end, him and Everett Larson kind of bang off each other's doors. Everett Larson hits the wall. Zach Baker makes an attempt at our John Deere Green Award of the night.
Yeah, and I just pulled up the time deltas too between Brandon Lopez and Brian Gibbons, and racing for that spot's fun and all, but they lost almost a full second while they were racing beside each other. So sometimes you have to realize that maybe we should back off and go single file here or something just to get closer to the front, and then we can battle it out. But then again, I'm not backing out of any battle like that either, so I don't blame them.
And you now see, because of it, Frank Marchese able to get in front of Mitchell Wilson there, get himself into the top 5. Greg McConey challenging as well. He's right there behind Mitchell Wilson, only maybe a 1/10 of a second. And then Brandon Trush and Brady Zoller also still all right there. Whereas guys like Everett Larson or Thomas McLaughlin are still probably at this point hoping that a yellow flag flies to try to bunch this group back up.
Yeah, I think Larson might have some damage. He's been losing some time, almost about 2 seconds over the past 10 laps.
Jamie Horn's built out one of the biggest leads of the night that we've seen so far. Caution flag is out. And that is Dagan Barnes and Thomas McLaughlin. Dagan Barnes getting loose into entry right there and trying to save it, comes up and collects Thomas McLaughlin.
This is going to make some things really interesting when it comes to this fuel strategy.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I think if you're, I mean, just based off of my guesses, I would say the strategy here is going to be whether you're going to take 4 or 10. Because I think you're going to come down here and get gas regardless. Still don't quite think you can make it. I mean, it would be close. They're going to be pitting on lap 80, 117 laps. So it'd be...
It's close.
47 laps.
Yes, and if you come back to top off, you're looking at 46. Yep. It's going to be.
I'd pit twice here.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely coming back into top off.
If it is that true 45 limit that we're seeing, that you can go about 40 to 45, I'd probably come back in a second time here.
I'm looking at Brandon Lopez to be the guy that kind of leads that charge. He's done it before. I think he could do it again right here. Of
I'm looking to
trying
see if
stretch it
anybody ends
wrong.
up taking.
No.
I'm looking to see if anybody here decides to just take right sides, because your right sides were really going to eat it here at Kansas Speedway. And I'm very curious to see if anyone takes right sides to try to maintain that clean air out front.
It's like a lot of forward tire stops, but really that mid is what's going to eat up those left sides.
I think everybody did end up taking 4 tires there. Jamie Horn coming off first, then you're going to have Ty Robertson. I believe it's going to be Brandon Lopez, Frank Marchese, Greg McConey, Mitchell Wilson.
Everett Larson took some time to get his damage repaired. So we'll see if he can make any more of a run to get back up through the field.
Yeah, 100%.
Looks like that wheel is straight now that he's driving there. He's probably trying to test it out to see how well it's going to hold.
Surprised nobody came in to top off.
I am too, unless the fuel window is not what we thought it was.
Yeah, it might be not even close right here. That's just possible.
Thomas McLaughlin in the comments saying, "Welp."
That is 100% understandable.
Believe that is going to be the end of the night for Thomas McLaughlin there. When we get this thing restarted up at the front, we are going to have 11 cars on the lead lap. That is going to be Jamie Horn leading them off on the outside. Ty Robertson on the inside in second place. Brandon Lopez on the inside in third. Frank Marchese in fourth place. Greg McConey in fifth. Mitchell Wilson in sixth. Brian Gibbons in seventh. Brandon Trush 8. Brady Zoller 9. Everett Larson 10th. As the pace car makes the hard left-hand turn, and we are back to green flag racing here at Kansas Speedway. Big checkup down there on that high side. Is that Mitchell Wilson that didn't quite get going?
Yeah, it looked like Brandon Trush got into his back bumper and Everett Larson got into the back bumper of Brandon Trush. They all were just kind of backing up there.
Good restart, though, for Jamie Horn. Ty Roberts able to maintain second place. Brandon Lopez third. Greg McConey and Frank Marchese going to be battling for fourth right there. Followed by their teammate Brian Gibbons. And then Mitchell Wilson in that 46. Making a move to the inside of Brian Gibbons. But Greg McConey kind of there. Just running his line, but kind of shut the door on Mitchell Wilson right there.
That was close.
Gibbons and Wilson. Woof. That was real close.
Get Everett Larson charging through the field, catching up to Mitchell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I am kind of curious to see through this run is, especially while we're unsure of if these guys are going to have to pit again or if they're not going to have to pit again or whatever the case may be, I'm curious to see who really puts the pedal to the metal and tries to get out in front as much as they can, and who kind of sits back with conserving tires. But right now, oh, that's going to be close.
What? Oh, was he saving it? Oh.
Golly, Frank Marchese and Mitchell Wilson, who were in such a good battle there, get together. Frank Marchese almost able to save it. Golly, he was so close to being able to save that.
I thought he had it at first, so I was holding my breath for. So close.
It at least looks like he was on the brakes pretty hard. So, I mean,
Yeah.
hopefully not a lot of damage for Frank Marchese there.
Might
Now you got
take
even
some
more
time.
strategy that's going to be coming into play here to see who tries to bring it down right here, who tries to keep their track position.
I thought.
Who tries to
Oh, it looks like
regain
everyone's
some
staying out.
position.
Oh, everyone's staying out. Interesting.
Frank Marchese did bring it down. I assume to probably try to get that damage repaired from whatever he took from that, but that actually might work out really well for Frank Marchese in the long run.
Yeah, I wonder if he's got an extra set of tires laying around. If he does, that might be very, very good for him here. If he has minimal damage and able to get everything fixed, get some new tires on it, because that slide is really going to hurt those tires.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, if he can go down there and get more tires, which it looks like he had, probably going to try to get damage repaired up until the very last second here. I mean, that could work out really, really well for Frank Marchese.
Well, we hope you've enjoyed this action this week, minus our little internet issues that happen here. But coming up next week, we are heading to Bristol. Sure to be a very good time for a lot of these drivers. I know a lot of these drivers really like Bristol. Some people hate Bristol, but for me, it's a very fun track, very much a rhythm track that you got to get into. So looking forward to a good one next week. Same place, same time.
And once again, we appreciate everybody who's joining here with us for this Knapp Daddy Racing League event at Kansas Speedway. Got 46 people in the stream right now. Thank you all so very much for joining with us. This has been by far our best viewed season, and we appreciate it. We are going to keep trying to keep putting out a product that you all enjoy and like to come back week after week and watch and cheer all your favorite drivers, assuming the internet gods decide to play ball with us. But looks like Frank Marchese able to get it off of pit road with those 4 fresh tires without going a lap down. So he's going to be rejoining the back of the field here. Jamie Horn going to be leading us off once again at the front. Ty Robertson going to be in second place. Greg McConey going to be in third. Brandon Lopez fourth. Mitchell Wilson fifth. Brian Gibbons sixth. Everett Larson seventh. Brandon Trush eighth. Brady Zoller ninth. And Frank Marchese in 10th place. And that will do it for our lead lap cars, as we are about to come back to green here.
Big accordion there on the bottom side. That's going to allow Greg McConey to get right to the front. He's going to take P2 over.
That advantage there to get into second place. And he's got to hold off Ty Robertson, who's been very, very fast all night long. Brandon Lopez currently still sitting in fourth place. And we got a battle going on back behind them to Brian Gibbons, Mitchell Wilson, and Everett Larson. You've got some racing going on right here as everyone's trying to get into the position that they want to be in before this race ends here. 27 laps to go at Kansas Speedway. Make sure you let your drivers hear it in the comments. 57 people in the stream. Good night. Appreciate all y'all once again for joining here with us tonight. It looks like we are shaping up to have a very exciting close to the race here at Kansas. And again, you're just seeing the different lanes that these guys are taking to try to get what they need to get done. Ty Robertson sticking all the way up there near the high side of the track. Brandon Lopez going down there more toward the middle, and then you can see it again here. Just a few positions back. Brian Gibbons in that 74 utilizing the low side, and you got Everett Larson and Mitchell Wilson trying to use that high side. Everett Larson goes to the low side. Another thing you got to consider as well is back behind those drivers, behind the number 1 of Brady Zoller there in 8th place. You have Frank Marchese in 9th place. He's going to have the freshest tires out of everybody.
Oh, Everett Larson's sliding up. Oh, Mitchell Wilson in the wall.
So they were both able to recover. Mitchell Wilson still trying to recover.
And Wilson might have some damage there.
Say Frank Marchese was trying to sneak around him right there while he was still trying to get his momentum back up. It looked like Mitchell Wilson almost got a little bit loose there. Like you said, I have to wonder if maybe he took a little bit of damage off that wall hit, but that's going to allow Brandon Trush to go around Mitchell Wilson as well. That's going to move Frank Marchese up into 8th place. Going to move Everett Larson up into 6th place as well. He's going to have to try to get back up there and catch Brian Gibbons, who is in 5th place.
Looked like Brandon Lopez was going to challenge Ty Robertson there on the inside for a quick second. Couldn't quite pull up enough. We got 21 to go. Out
Apparently
here
still have
at
Jamie
Kansas.
Horn. Apparently still have Jamie Horn out there in 1st place. Greg McConey about a half a second back in 2nd place. You got Ty Robertson sitting in 3rd place right now, but it looks like he's losing time right now to the number 5 of Brandon Lopez, who's pulled all the way back up to his bumper.
Everett Larson's going after and going around Brian Gibbons. Everett Larson had a killer turn 3 and 4 and just stuffed it down into the bottom and drove all the way straight around Brian Gibbons. It was a really impressive pass.
I mean, I know Everett was your pick here tonight, Baker, but one of the other things that I know we were talking about earlier that kind of sticks with me about Everett Larson, and it's one of the things that I feel like we talk about with Jamie Horn a lot as well, where it's just those guys are so good at playing the cards of the hand that they're dealt, where it's they may not know as much about the track or may not feel as confident about the track as they would at some other tracks, but they learn how to do different things as the race goes on, and they start applying that while the race is going on. It's not going logged away in the memory bank to be like, oh, I'll have to remember that for next time. It's like, okay, I'm gonna do that next lap.
He is a great learner. Learns how to race the track well, not just his opponents. That's something we definitely see out of Jamie Horn, as Jamie Horn looked like kind of pulling away, but Greg McConey's sticking right with him.
Greg McConey has gotten 2/10 back.
Yeah, I was expecting Jamie Horn to drive away from these guys, but Greg McConey, Brandon Lopez, and Ty Robertson have all kind of stayed within reach. Now, you never know what's going to happen as these tires kind of wear out and move into these next 16 laps here. But, I mean, we might end up with a really great finish here.
We approach ever closer to the end here as we are over lap 100 now of 117 at Kansas Speedway. Got Robbie Wilson in the comments saying Mitchell's hamsters need to run faster. I think from now on, instead of calling it horsepower these cars have, we're going to start calling it hamster power. But unfortunately, Mitchell Wilson, who was very strong throughout the start of this race, we believe he took some damage after popping the wall there about 5 laps ago. And he has slipped back to 10th place here. He's about 6.3 seconds behind your race leader, Jamie Horn, and almost 3 seconds behind the 9th place driver of Brandon Trush. John Larson in the comments saying Everett is doing, quote, super duper, let's go. As you did see, Everett Larson did give up that position to Brian Gibbons that he had just gotten a few laps ago, but still sitting in 6th place right now. Brady Zoller sitting in 7th place in that Monster Energy #1 car, but he's got Frank Marchese, who's gained, gosh, about a half a second over the past couple of laps. Once again, that lead increases for Jamie Horn as well. We saw Greg McConey bring it in to right at 0.3 of a second on Jamie Horn there, but now it is back to 0.6 here. As it's going to be lap 105 when we cross the stripe here. Who is going to be able to save their tires good enough to be able to hold on to it here at the end at Kansas Speedway? So you have to imagine these tires are going to be hurting right now.
Yeah, probably everybody except for Frank Marchese, who did pit a little bit later than everybody else with that wreck, but he also might be dealing with some damage as well.
I was watching Brandon Lopez. It was just from not even looking at lap times, but just from what I was seeing, it looked like he was closing in on our 2 leaders, but I think he may have touched the wall off turn 4 a few laps ago.
Oh,
which
no.
kind of slowed down his pace a tiny bit. He's getting pretty tight. I think he might have gotten the wall again right there off turn 2. If not, he was really close.
Yeah, he hit the wall there a little bit early on the throttle on that exit. Didn't allow it to get fully rotated and set. And you can actually feel more in the steering wheel unless you have all the butt kicker products, but you can feel when this car gets set into a corner and able to start getting back into the gas pedal.
Yeah, I think he's just getting a little too tight to go after and chase down Jamie Horn and Greg McConey.
Yeah,
It looks like Robertson's coming to his inside right here real fast.
Yeah, ideally that car sets right.
Still has some tires left.
That car needs to set right at the apex, and it looks like his car is setting way past the apex, if at all, because he knows he has to get back into the gas to save some time and make up some pace here. But yeah, that's a huge thing. Is feeling when that car gets set in the middle of the corner and able to get back into the gas. That's where you're going to save a lot at. That's where you're going to be fastest at.
That's going to give you 3rd place to Ty Robertson here.
Yeah, ties the wall. Lopez going to take it back.
Wow. Ty Robertson with a really strong, like 3 or 4 laps before that, able to get around Brandon Lopez, make it look pretty easy, but Brandon Lopez able to get it back right there. And now Brian Gibbons going to be really pretty close to the bumper of Ty Robertson here. He's only going to be about 0.3 of a second back. And then about another second behind them, little less than a second actually, is where you're going to find Everett Larson and Brady Zoller in 6th and 7th. Frank Marchese and Brandon Trush were having a little bit of a battle back there for 8th and 9th, but I think Trush might have found the wall on that last exit. He did indeed. Well, Jamie Horn has just been turning up the heat at the front of this thing. Now has 1.1 seconds of a lead over top of Greg McConey, but at the same time, Greg McConey's been increasing his margin over Brandon Lopez. Greg McConey has almost 1.3 seconds over top of Brandon Lopez.
Yeah, I'm riding along here with Jamie Horn inside the cockpit, just trying to compare and contrast to what we were seeing with Brandon Lopez. And you can see the big thing is you're feeling that back end kind of kick out as you get into the middle, and that's really setting your corner for a good exit. Watch, he gets back into the throttle right here. It's nice and easy. He can see the good control of the car, has no concern about hitting the wall. The speed's going to take him right up to the wall, so he uses up all that track, but that car is still able to set very well at the pace he's going, and the downshifting definitely helps.
Is Greg downshifting?
We can hop in with Greg right here. Greg is downshifting. He is also taking that middle line, which I love. I love that middle line.
Which I love.
It's the best of both worlds. You're still going to get good exit speed. You can still get a good entry speed as well. Big thing you have to worry about sliding those tires a little too much.
Lap 113 in the books of 117 here. Only going to have 5 to go this time by Jamie Horn, still with about a second of a lead over Greg McConey. Brandon Lopez going to be sitting in third place, about a second and a half behind Greg McConey. He's got a couple of challengers in Ty Robertson and Brian Gibbons, who are all within a half a second of him, making up your top 5. Everett Larson currently sitting in 6th, followed by Brady Zoller in 7th. Frank Marchese holding 8th place. Brandon Trush in 9th, and Mitchell Wilson now back in 10th place, about 12 seconds off the pace. We saw him hit the wall there back on about lap 92. And I think it must have done something to that car, because it has knocked it way off pace for what was a very, very fast car here tonight.
Looks like Gibbons is getting around Ty Robertson battling side by side right here.
Trying to, and Brady Zoller got around Everett Larson all at the same time. And Brady Zoller's trying to trace down those two guys right in front of him.
Wonder if those guys were trying to save a little bit of tires. Now they're just trying to burn it all up here at the end.
Ty might have got some damage from getting in the wall a few laps ago as well.
True,
That
true.
slowed his car down.
Got Vio in the comments saying, "Go Everett, go." As he's trying to run down that number 1 car of Brady Zoller to get back into the top 5. Currently sitting in 6th place is where, or 7th place, excuse me, is where Everett Larson currently sits. But we are going to have the white flag fly this time by Jamie Horn, still out in front, followed by Greg McConey and Brandon Lopez. All of the battling is going to be for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Jamie Horn takes the white flag here at Kansas. Slower start for Jamie Horn here tonight at Kansas, but was able to put together a performance as the race went on between pit strategy and moving forward in the field that has gotten him back out to the front, and it has been a very, very strong second stage for Jamie Horn as he brings it around for the final time here tonight. Checkered flag waves. Jamie Horn, your winner at Kansas Speedway. Greg McConey going to come home in the 2nd place. Brandon Lopez going to finish 3rd, followed by Brian Gibbons going to finish 4th. Ty Robertson comes home in 5th. Brady Zoller going to finish 6th here tonight. Everett Larson going to come home in 7th. Frank Marchese going to finish 8th. Brandon Trush going to come home 9th. Mitchell Wilson is going to finish 10th, followed by Zachary Baker in 11th. Thomas McLaughlin in 12th, and Dagan Barnes rounding out your field in 13th place here tonight. Sandra Horn in the comments, well done, Jamie Horn, as Jamie pulls it around to that checkered flag by the Kansas sign and burns it down for a very, very strong performance here tonight. It's like Jamie's going to park it on the checkered flag line there. Okay, congratulations to all of these drivers here tonight. What a race we had at Kansas here tonight. We will pull up the full standings here in just a moment. We will be working, first of all, on getting your interviews with your top three of Jamie Horn, Greg McConey, and Brandon Lopez. We'll get them into the booth and be right back.
And we are back here live on Knapp Daddy Racing on YouTube. Just finishing up here at Kansas. I do have your top three coming up here to the booth. I pull up Brandon Lopez first. Brandon, you got a copy of us in the booth?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Hey, Brandon, you got Baker here. Man, great run tonight. First of all, talk us through that first stage. You had a great drive through the field, impressive drive to win that stage. So tell us a little bit about that first stage.
That first stage, that strategy goes to Ty. He was the one that called. First of all, we were back in the pack. The dirty air was really bad, so we couldn't have any momentum. And then Ty came on the radio. He was like, "Let's go ahead and take two tires on the right sides. Everyone's probably gonna pit for fuel, and so forth." So we did that, and then I noticed Jamie pit as well, but he was slower, and I figured that he only took fuel, so that's how I was able to go get around him and win the stage. And Ty was the one that called it, so all credits to him about that. But overall, Dirty Air was really effective. It was really hard to pass that one. At the end there, I was telling Greg and Jamie that I felt like I was faster than both of them on the end there, and then once I got to Greg's air, I got really tight and I hit the wall. I got wheel damage out of it. So, but it was a great run overall. I'd say it's a pretty fun track. So, yeah, that's pretty basically my race tonight.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the dirty air, but then you kind of answered that question. Uh, my follow up to that though is between the inside or the outside. Was there one lane that was the preference, or was it just kind of wherever there was cleaner air?
It was wherever was cleaner air. So I noticed that, for example, I think it was Bryant who was second place at the time. I was staying down low, and Ty and I were just kind of like chilling for a bit. And every single time that Brian was on the inside lane, both of us would get tight. So we try to start getting around him on the high side lane, and the air felt really different. Like it felt cleaner and faster. But it's just only a matter of like whoever's in front of you is taking what lane. So and how to counter it. It was really hard to do that because you're playing the guessing game at that point. But the inside lane overall was for us it was a tire saving lane. But once you get to someone's dirty air, you get really tight, and tire saving doesn't really matter at that point.
Very true. Very true. Well, before we let you go, are there any shout outs you want to give?
Yes, I just want to thank God for the opportunity to hang out with these people and race every single week. It's been a fun league. Want to thank my family for watching in and tuning in, and my friends. The boys this time, I forgot to mention him last week or 2 weeks ago, so I gotta mention him this time. Love you, boys. Um, my teammates, Last Row Motorsports, trying to set the tone throughout the season. Um, especially, I mean, all my teammates are deserve all the credit, but for Ty, especially for the strategy, for the stage, I want to thank him for that. Um, thank for you guys for putting up this league every single week. You guys do an amazing job. It's fun to rewatch these YouTube videos and kind of like study how to get better. And everyone else for tuning in.
Yeah, man. Great job tonight. Great run. Really impressive. And congrats on the top three.
Thank you. You guys have a good one.
Take care, man.
You too.
Going to be Brandon Lopez finishing in third place tonight. Coming up next, I have your second place finisher in Greg McConey as I pull him up to the booth here. Greg, you got a copy what's in the booth?
What's up, boys?
Greg, you got Hunter up here. Congratulations on the second place here tonight. Talk to me about that second stage, man. We saw everyone kind of taking the different pit road strategies. We had a couple of cautions. Talk to me about the plan that you came in here into the race with, and then kind of how that had to change as the race went on, especially towards the end there.
Yeah, I mean, I loved it. I during the first stage, I was talking with a bunch of guys, and they're all like, "Yeah, we're just gonna run it long and either take a splash or, do something there." And I was like, "Well, I'm not gaining on anybody right now. I can feel my tires are wearing, So I made the call to split the stage in half. I liked it. It worked out for my benefit. It felt. Um, and then that kind of led me into the second stage where it was all right, the guys that won it ran it long and then got their tires. So my plan shifted from splitting it at halfway to we're going to run it as long as I can, um, and take tires the best chance I get. But the problem was I got a speeding penalty. Apparently, I don't know how because I never flashed red at 46, but apparently I got a speeding penalty at the stage. So I had to start in the back. And then from there, it was just save tires and driving my way back up. And we got that yellow. And from there, it was just, everybody's on the same page of take tires. And we're right there on fuel. So I felt good and never needed to take tires after that.
Yeah, we were all losing our minds up here when we saw you were the first one to split out and get up at road, because we love just like seeing the different strategies play out as the race goes on. And when you split down and kind of like you said, cut that stage in half, we were like, "Oh Lord, that's so cool." But obviously it worked out for you. You did well in that first stage and able to pull back up to second place in the second stage. But talk to me about how the tires were tonight. I know we've had a couple people talk about the dirty air as well, but I mean, when were you really noticing that tire fall off here tonight?
Yeah, the dirty air was brutal. You could get, you could draft up to somebody within, maybe get to half a second or 3/10 of a second back, but from there, the dirty air, you just could not gain on them. So you needed to be fighting to find a line, changing your entry. You had to do that all night, which I love. I enjoy the tracks where it's not just a single groove. Um, follow the leader, and you pass somebody by bumping them out of the way. I love the tracks where you get to go search, you find a line that's working for you at different stages of the race, and somebody takes your air away here, you can turn down and get a run. It to me, these are my favorite types of tracks. So Michigan, here, Charlotte Auto Club, Chicago, like all those tracks I love. And tonight, just you wore that right front out so bad. And especially once you got behind somebody, it just you had to wait longer and longer on the throttle to get the thing to turn off the center. I was actually shifting, probably maybe the last third of that run. I was going to fourth to get the run off. Um, and then you talked to a couple other guys. I knew some guys were shifting all night, and
Mm-hmm.
I was in fifth rolling it, and we, just got to the point when I started to close back in on horn is when I was shifting through fourth, and it worked. Just, that dirty air and that worn right front, nothing you could do after that.
Either way, man, still a fantastic run out of you here tonight. You were my pick to win tonight, so came up pretty close finishing in second, but we are headed to Bristol next week, so we look forward to seeing you at the front there and talking to you again at Bristol.
For sure. Love the place. Thank you guys. You know, I gotta thank you guys. You guys put on a great show. Can't wait to go back and watch it. Thank all the Trash Panda guys, Frank, Gibby, Zach, um, everybody else that runs with us. Rocky does a great job for us building these cars. Happy to have the Trash Deer Mustang tonight. So that was a fun one for me.
High quality.
Oh, absolutely. You know, we had this, we had the Nation Trash, we had Trash to End Hunger, and we had Rockies on Gibby's car tonight. So love being able to represent. Thank the family, my wife Sydney, and family that I know is watching. So can't wait to go back. Great run, and we'll hopefully carry the momentum into next week.
100%, man. Well, congratulations again on the second place, and I hope Brian Gibbons knows that if we ever interview him for being in a top 3, that I'm now going to call him Gibby. But
Oh yeah,
besides that, man, congratulations again on second place, and we'll talk to you next week.
thanks, man. Later, guys.
Yes, sir. Take care.
That's going to be Greg McConey finishing up in second place tonight. And coming in first, I have your finisher, your first place finisher, your winner here tonight, and Mr. Jamie Horn, as I drag him up here to the booth right now. Jamie, got a copy of this in the booth?
Yes, sir, I do.
Hey, Jamie, great run. You got Hunter up here in the booth. Congratulations on your back-to-back wins here and got the finish here tonight at Kansas. Talk to me about this race, man. I know you kind of started it further towards the back. We heard a lot of different guys say that the dirty air was crazy tonight. Talk to me about how you made the plan to get up there into first place.
So going into this race, this is probably my, if not most favorite, it's probably tied between this and Bristol is my favorite track. So I really like this track. I'm really good at it most of the time. And you know, we were all talking. Everybody was talking about dirty air. I didn't really seem to feel it as bad. As the tires got older, the dirty air seemed to be, you know, a little bit worse. But it's about figuring out how you can, um, you know, back it up, get a run on somebody, and you know, sometimes it takes a few laps. I mean, last week, last Thursday, in the other league race, you know, it took probably 10 laps to figure out how to get around somebody for me. So just you got to kind of see where they're driving, where you can put the nose of your car, get the clean air, and you know, make the move to get around them.
You did that so well tonight, man. You pushed your way up through the entire field to get up there into first place and got that win. We're headed to Bristol next week for, I believe it's going to be our first short track of the season. How do you like short track racing, and how do you like your chances at Bristol?
Short tracks is probably my favorite. I guess you could say my bread and butter or whatever. That's that's my favorite. And definitely, Bristol is one of the top tracks I like, and usually run good there. So look to go there and have a good night. I hope, and you know, things can go south real quick with you know accidents that could or might happen. So you never know. Last time I was there, my internet went out from the front and had to go all the way to the back and come back up. So, you know, you never know what's going to happen, but love the track, and I look to have a good week, hopefully.
Well, I mean, tonight we had to take about a 5-minute break on the stream because John's internet died. So I don't know what's going on with that south of North Carolina internet, but seems like it's
My
not
frames have
handling
been
it too
bad
well.
lately.
What's that?
My frame rates have been bad lately. The race last week, I had the in-car up and had to shut it down because I usually don't have a blinking issue, and I started blinking out during the race. So I don't know, maybe all this snow and stuff that y'all like up there in North Carolina and South Carolina that messed up everything.
Buddy, if you think I like all this snow, you got another thing coming. I almost busted my butt 3 different times at work today, and I'm about done with it. But congratulations again on your win here tonight, man. Great run here at Kansas. Look forward to talking to you at Bristol. Before we let you go, any sponsors or shout outs you want to give?
So I do have a request.
Yes, sir.
Brandon Trush is in the waiting room, and he doesn't ever get to talk in these. And he asked if you would pull him up so he could talk with me. I don't know what his plan is.
I don't see why not.
Oh, come
Brandon?
on, really?
You said you wanted it. Here you go, bro.
I didn't want it. It was a joke.
Hi, Brandon.
How are you gentlemen doing tonight?
Lovely, sir. So talk to us, I guess. While we got you here, talk to us about the race tonight. I know your teammate Jamie Horner got the win here tonight, but talk to me about the race and what went on here tonight. There was a lot of different things going into the race with the dirty air and the tires and everything. So talk to us about your experience.
It was horrible. I had an okay I had an okay time. Yeah, Jamie tried to tell me how to run this track, and I took everything that he told me and threw it out the window, and look where I end up.
Well, I think John's having a little fun with us, and I know normally the first place interviews get done by John, but I think his daughter sneezed in his mouth or something, and so now he's sick. So
Yeah, I feel fantastic right now.
his voice is falling apart. So now I'm up here, and I think Jamie had a tag on his nameplate
yeah.
that said Brandon Trush's daddy, and now
Yeah.
John has one up for Brandon that says Jamie Horn's son. So I think we're just having a real Maury moment here at the end of this race. But Brandon, we're headed to Bristol next week. How do you like Bristol, and how do you like your chances there?
I like Bristol. How I do there with the fixed setup is yet to be seen. So we'll try to put some laps in. I'll try to listen to Jamie. I'll probably throw it out the window, and we'll see what happens.
An independent man. I like it. Well, appreciate
Yeah.
it very much, boys. And again, we had a great stream here tonight. So thank you all for putting on a great show. Jamie, congratulations again on the win. And Brandon, you might want to put an expedite order on the paternity test, I guess.
I'll go talk to my mother about it and see what's what.
Appreciate it, boys. Thank you.
Yeah, y'all have a good night.
That is going to be Jamie Horn and Brandon Trush. And I'm just having some fun down here in the comment side over here. But good race out of everybody tonight. It was a lot of fun out here at Kansas. Like Hunter said, my voice is just going and it is just deteriorating as this run goes on. But whole lot of fun here. I like Kansas a lot. Maybe my voice will be better by next week. I'm trying to power through right now to get through all this stuff here at the end. But give us some thoughts on the race.
I would say, like, you know, everyone kept saying that Dirty Air was really difficult tonight, and that was not entirely what I expected to hear, but makes sense with the new updates and everything. It's just the way it is. But even with Dirty Air, these guys still put on a great race. Really impressed with how they battled through that and were able to battle with each other. Really great race.
Yeah, kind of the same thoughts for me, man. It was really fun race to watch. These guys put on such a good show here tonight. Really proud of all the boys for how they've been performing this season. And, you know, we just had a lot of different strategies again here tonight. Mitchell Wilson, once again, was dominant early on in the run. And unfortunately, he took some damage that kind of put him further towards the back at the end. But, I mean, Jamie Horn came out here, ran his race, and was able to get first. Greg McConey had some different strategies that he used tonight, was able to get up into second and was able to pull away by almost 2 full seconds there at the end over Brandon Lopez. So Greg McConey obviously had a very, very fast car tonight. And it was just a really competitive race. And I'm looking forward to seeing what we get out of Bristol next week.
Absolutely going to be a very good time. That's going to take place right here, same place at 8:15 next week. I'm going to be taking on Bristol. Going to be a good track for a lot of people, so be sure to tune into that next week. That's 8:15 Eastern time when we will start the broadcast as these guys head into week 6, getting really close to playoffs here. And we'll have some updated standings boards for you. If you want to check out the current standings, you can head over to simracehub.com. That's simracerhub.com, and type in Knapp Daddy Racing League and find out where your favorite driver is at. But other than that, I think that's going to be just about it for us here tonight. So for the last time, I guess, I have been John.
I've been Baker.
And I've been Hunter.
We will see you guys next week.
Take care, everybody.
Welcome to the Knapp Daddy Racing League, where the competition is high and the theatrics are higher.
They bring it down the stretch one
It's
last
sputtering.
time.
It's sputtering. He's shaking it.
Sputtering. Brandon Lopez wins it at Charlotte in one of the greatest fuel strategies you will see.
It's close battles, tight racing, and non-stop action. Y'all ready?
Come to the home stretch for the final time. I think Ty Roberts is running out of gas. Ronald Breland's running out of gas. Ronald Breland going to be your winner of the very first race.
Get loud. Get ready.
It is going to be Hunter Simpson taking the race here at Austin. Right there on that checkered line. It is going to burn it down, but they will earn and deserve victory.
Let's go. It's the Knapp Daddy Racing League, only on the Knapp Daddy Racing channel.